So, hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel one more time. Welcome back again, and today I'm going to talk about a different topic than the topic that I've spoken about the other day. I'm sorry, I have to just check if everything is working on YouTube as well. I'm just checking if the voice is working, if... Okay, all right. So... Okay. All right. Perfect. So, welcome guys again to another live stream video where I'm going to talk about something academic related to English language. Okay. I don't know how many people are watching now. I will refresh the page and see if you've got some comments. Not yet. There you go. Okay. I kind of understand that sometimes when you start a live video, not everyone is going to tune in right away. So people might take a short period of time to understand, to prepare themselves. Depending on the time as well, some countries and some places, they don't really have the exact time that I'm having here, which is why it might create a problem for them. Hello, Neda. Welcome to the live video, to the live stream. Here we go. Neda has made it. That's amazing. That's awesome. This is the second time for you to come to my live video, so thank you so much. The previous time I've spoken about vocabulary, and it was an interesting video because I got to speak about the proper ways to learn vocabulary, which was amazing since I have spoken about the technique that I have developed as well, the speaking technique. I don't know if you have been using that technique or not, Nada, I'm not sure. So let me know if you have been using that technique, if you think it has worked for you, you know, the speaking to self technique. Did it work well? Did you fail at first to understand making it perfect, or did it work perfectly from the first time? Because I hear a lot of people saying that they cannot do it, to understand, perfectly from the beginning. It is a little bit hard for them to start just speaking to themselves in a very fast way and making no sense, obviously, mentioning everything that is around you. It is a little bit difficult to do that. So let me know if you have found it easy, if you've done it, if you've learned something, if you've found that your tongue is not twisted anymore. So let me know. So let me know in the comments below. There is a little bit of a delay on the videos because I don't know, I'm using two different platforms, and this is what happens. Hello Infra, this is what happens when you use two different platforms. There will be a little bit of delay, so I can read your messages and I will answer you right away. Don't worry. Hello there, Infra. I hope you're doing well. Thanks a lot for joining again, Infra, one more time. Okay, I think I did it in a slow way. Neda says each time I try to make it faster. Good, make it faster. Do not stop to think, right? Because once you stop and start thinking, you will lose a lot of you will lose control, do you understand, of your subconscious mind. You don't want to lose control. You want to keep controlling your subconscious mind, because when you start talking and you don't stop, the subconscious mind is sending words, as I said, to your conscious mind, which is good. I don't know if Infra has been trying the method or not. Maybe he has been very busy, he didn't even try it out, but I encourage you guys to try the method that I've taught you last time. For those who are not here and are here for the first time, check out my live video that I've done last week. Okay, there is a previous live video on my channel. You can check it out, you can watch it as well. It is about vocabulary, and I've taught you and I've spoken about one technique that I've developed in order to become fluent and to speak in a very fast way, in a very good way as well. So check that video if you haven't watched it. It's about 1 hour something, and go at the end, the last 30 minutes or the last 20 minutes, so that you can hear the technique if you're not interested in knowing anything about vocabulary or how to learn new vocabulary. It's okay. Yeah, no worries, Infra, no worries. So Infra says, sorry, I have some lag here with my network. I understand, it happens. I apologize for that, mate. I hope you can work that out. We are here, and work it out and come back to us, mate. No worries. So today's lesson is going to be about English language exams. Okay, English language exams. Today I'm going to talk to you about English language exams. What are these exams that people are talking about nowadays? Yeah. When I say English language exams, I'm talking about the international exams that people talk about, like IELTS, for example. Okay, why do people talk about these exams, and what are these exams for? Why do people take these exams seriously? Right? So many people around the world hear about these exams, but they do not understand why are these exams important. Hello, Lamine. I hope you're doing well, bro. Hello, thanks a lot for being here, mate. So some people, they take those exams, they don't take those exams. Yeah, they know some people that might take them, but they don't ask the question, why are they taking those exams, and why are those exams important? Today I'm going to help you understand what is the importance of those exams that people take in order to get to universities, or what are the different exams that some universities might ask you, you understand, to take to prove that you are good at English language. Okay, sorry, that you are good at English language. So two lesson objectives we've got today: to be able to understand why are English language exams needed, okay, why they are needed, these English language exams. And the second lesson objective, to be able to learn the basics about each exam. Okay, we will also learn the basics about each exam. I'll teach you and I'll tell you about the most important exams. Okay, the most important exams so far. Okay, I'll tell you about those exams. So as a starter, what are the most popular English language exams? If you know one of those exams, type it down in the comments. If you know one of those exams, type it down in the comments. I can wait. Okay, what are the most popular English language exams that you know of? Okay, if you know any of them, just type it down. If you know any of those exams, type it down. IELTS, okay. Infra says IELTS as well. Why do people know a lot about IELTS? Yeah, they hear a lot about it. They don't know a lot about it, sorry, but they hear a lot about IELTS, and I like that. I like that. Here we go. Nada says TOEFL as well, which is TOEFL, right? That's amazing. Okay, that's another exam that some people, they don't know a lot about. I agree with you, Nada. Some people, they don't know a lot about that exams. So yes, Infra says it as well at the same time as Nada, and it's lagging, so he didn't see Nada write that down. So he wrote it without seeing it, I'm 100% sure. But that's right. These are the two popular exams maybe, but there are other exams as well that people might not hear about. I'm not going to talk about all the exams, yeah? I'm not going to talk about all the exams that people need to take in order to go to universities or go abroad, yeah? However, no worries, no worries. Infra says, sorry, no worries, mate. LOL. So the first one is IELTS, as you mentioned. Okay, it is IELTS, as you mentioned. IELTS Academic, though. Okay, we've got IELTS General and we've got IELTS Academic. Now, the difference between both is very easy and is very simple for you to understand. Okay, IELTS Academic is for universities, okay, for graduate students or undergraduates, yeah. But IELTS General is for those who want to go for tourism, those who want to go for immigration, live outside, abroad, another country, tourists, to understand. So it's not really as academic as IELTS as IELTS Academic is. Some people that are watching me right now, maybe that are thinking, they're saying, "Oh, but you're talking about something that we might not be interested in. Why are you talking about IELTS? What are these things and why are they important?" That's the answer, right? The answer to that question is what you're going to realize by the end of this. Okay, so by the end of this, you will understand. You will understand. By the end of this, you will understand why IELTS and TOEFL and other exams are very important. Okay, and that you, those who are watching me right now, they should take one of those exams at least. Okay, I will tell you why and what are the reasons. Any English learner, okay, or any learner of English should take these exams, at least one of these exams. Okay, I encourage you to take all of them if you can, but if you can't, just take one, and I'll tell you the reasons why. So the first one is IELTS Academic. IELTS means or refers to International English Language Test System. Okay, International English Language Test System, as you can see in the PowerPoint. The second exam that you have mentioned, and I'm going to tell you about too, is TOEFL, okay, TOEFL, Test of English as a Foreign Language. Okay, foreign language, it means a stranger language. It is not a native language. It is a second language or a third language. Okay, so test of English as a foreign language. So that's what we mean by TOEFL. Okay, test of English as a foreign language. And it is different than IELTS. It is very different than IELTS. I will tell you how and why. Okay, and then we have the third one. It's number 3 because we've got the most famous one is IELTS, then number 2 TOEFL, and then the third one is PTE. Okay, PTE is very famous in the UK as well. So it is called PTE Academic Pearson Text of English. Okay, Test of English, not text. Sorry, it is Test of English. I wrote text there, which is a mistake when I was typing. I wrote text instead of test. All right, sorry, I don't know why, but again, yeah. So PTE is Pearson Test of English, not text. Okay, so what are these exams and why do we have to learn these exams? I did TOEFL and I got 39. So bad. No, it's not really bad. It's not bad. It's not bad. 39 is not that bad. Okay, it's not that bad. Trust me. So you go, and they are different, by the way. IELTS that are different from 0 to 9. TOEFL is different. Do you understand? It is different. All right. It is from 20 to 120. All right. Or from 0 to 120. And PTE is different as well. So these are different. Okay. They've got different mark schemes and different way of assessing the level of the students. Right, remember that. So, and they have changed a little bit recently because of the outbreak, because of so many other factors as well. All right, so I will tell you about the new changes regarding all of these exams, and I will tell you why you should take at least one. And Infra 39 out of 120 it is actually a little bit low. Okay, some universities they accept 50. Okay, 50. Most universities accept 75 and above. All right, most universities accept 75 and above in TOEFL. All right, most universities in IELTS accept 6.0 or 6.5 and above. Some universities accept 5. Okay, some universities accept 5 because I think some countries they agree with certain universities. Okay, I can give an example. Norway, for example, they say to the UK, well, we have to make an agreement, do you understand, with certain universities in the UK, and we want those universities to accept students coming from Norway, um, just taking 5 on an IELTS exam. You understand? And then the university says yes. If they sign a contract, if they agree on it, to get, I mean, from the government and everything, then they say yes, based on the level of the student in those countries. So depending on where you live and how your government treats education, really, right? You live in a developed country where education is taken seriously, then the government must take this seriously as well, IELTS. Okay, if not, if the government is not in touch with any universities, then you might not be able, to get 5 or 5.5 as a score in IELTS and then be accepted. You need to get 6.5 or 7 sometimes to get accepted to some universities. So you need to know that before you take the exam. All right. So what is the purpose of these exams? The purpose of these exams is I will answer a question here and I will answer this question again on the next slide. The purpose of this exam is to be able to register for universities. Okay, to be able to register for universities. That's why this exam is very important. And I encourage people and students, and not only students, just learners of English, to take these exams if they want to continue their studies, if they want to immigrate, if they want to go abroad, all right, to visit other countries. It will help you out in the visa process. For example, if you do not live, if you live in a country where you need to apply for a visa, to understand, to go to the UK, to go to the United States, to Australia, to Canada, to New Zealand, you need to, right, have an IELTS exam, for example, an IELTS certificate to say that I have succeeded in IELTS and I've got 7, right? So that they can give you the visa. It boosts your chances in getting the visa, all right? And then when you get the visa, they will make sure that you can go and communicate well with people. They don't want to give the visa to someone who has never traveled and who doesn't have any communication skills, right? They don't want to do that. So what they want to do is look at that script. If you have in, let's say, 7, yeah, in IELTS, and they will say, okay, this guy is a good speaker of English, give him the visa, why not? You understand, as a tourist, all right? So IELTS general, not academic, helps you a lot when you want to get your visa. The paper or the IELTS certificate is not really asked for. No one asks for it. To understand, no one asks for it. When you go and apply for a visa, they don't ask for it. But if you put it in the papers, or with the papers, with your file, they will accept it and they will take a look at it and they will then take it into consideration as well. So put that into mind and remember this when you apply for any visas, right? So the countries that ask for these examinations, right, IELTS, TOEFL, and PTE, are UK, the USA, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. These are the famous countries. Other countries ask for these as well, like South Africa, for example. Okay, other countries ask for these, like South Africa, and so many other countries. However, I focused on these countries because these are the countries where students want to go and study, right? These are the countries with the best universities, if I may. Okay, with the best universities. So if you want to go and study in the UK, you have plenty of very good universities, or the USA as well, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. These countries have got very good universities, a very strong education system, and that is why they ask for these 3 exams. All right, remember that. So, as I said, now why should you take an international English exam? Number 1, test your level in English. Okay, you want to test your level in English, as a learner of English, as someone who has been spending a long period of time trying to learn the language, you deserve to know your level. You deserve to know your level. You don't want to sit down and learn English for a couple of months, a couple of years without knowing your actual level. Okay? And a teacher of English can give you an examination or a test to tell you about your level, but that is not as formal as the exams that I've mentioned before. The exams that I've mentioned before, they give you a certificate that is stamped and everything. Okay, you pay money for those exams. Okay, and you want to test your level. You want to know where you at when it comes to English, all right, as a non-native speaker. So to do that, you want to apply for these exams, or one of them at least, okay? Because it is very helpful to know your level. Once you know that you are 5, all right, out of 9 in IELTS, then you know what you need to do, okay, to improve your level. It is very important. Even if you're not a student at university, even if you are already working, even if you are 45 years old or 50 years old and you've already got a job, you've already got a life. You get what I mean? It's not that those who are 20 do not have a life, don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying, you've already got a life. I mean, you do not need to start a new one, if I may. 50 years old, in a sense, applying for university is a little bit weird to some people. To me, it's fine, but to some people, it's not, because it's already got a life. You know, he shouldn't be applying for it. One who's 25 should be applying for it. Whatever. Anyway, those who are 50 and are watching me right now, they also want to test their level, to understand, to take one of these exams. If you take one of these exams at that age, it is very good, right? Because you will then understand what you've learned throughout the years, okay? And if you want to apply for another job, for a better job, okay, you want that results of IELTS or TOEFL or whatever to be in your CV. Okay, so you can write it down on your resume as well. You can say, I have had this examination and I have got this score 7 or 8 in IELTS, right? So if you work for an international company, let's say, if you work for an international facility, you will have to speak English nowadays. You understand? We live in a world where everyone, not everyone, but everyone literally must speak English. Okay, this is the world that we live in nowadays. And regardless of where you come from, you will find yourself trying to work in an international facility, in an international community, right? Because it is fun and it is interesting. However, you will not be able to work in such community if you do not have language, if you do not speak English. Okay, if you work in an international company, you will have people from France, people from Germany, people from Russia, but they will not speak the languages. They will speak one language, which is English. Which is why if you test your level and put it in your resume and go apply for a job like that, the boss, okay, will accept you. Okay, the HR department, they will go for those who have succeeded in the IELTS exams. You understand? It's not a must. They don't ask for it in companies. They don't say, do you have an IELTS exam? No, they don't say that. Don't get me wrong. But if they see it on your resume, it is good. It means, because on your resume, you need to write how well you speak English. If you're native, you say English native speaker, then send French a little bit, whatever, to get, I mean, intermediate, advanced, whatever, right? If you're not an a native speaker, you say English intermediate, beginner. You understand? Advanced. You get what I mean? Now, when they see that, without any proof, without any evidence, they will not accept it 100%. They will say, okay, maybe he's lying. Maybe he's just putting it out there. Do you get what I mean? So, and they cannot test you right away on an interview. You get what I mean? It will be a little bit silly to test your level of English in a job interview. You get what I mean? They can talk to you in English, but to test your level, it is not really something to be done in a job interview, right? Which is why it is better if you put that result, that formal result from the IELTS exam board. Only then the HR department would believe that you've got that score, okay, and that you are a good speaker of English. Now, those are two reasons why register to university abroad. If you want to study abroad, you want to study, as I said before, in the UK, the USA, Canada, New Zealand, Australia, you need to apply for one of these exams, register for one of these exams, and get these certificates in order to apply for these universities. All right. If you want to immigrate to a different country, like Canada, for example, Canada Immigration Office, they have to ask you for IELTS. Okay, Canada Immigration Office, they ask you for IELTS. They say, have you got an IELTS exam? Have you got an IELTS certificate? What have you got in that certificate as well? So if you are watching me right now and you are interested in immigrating to Canada, you have to have the IELTS certificate. Okay, so try to learn and practice, and then get the certificate in order to immigrate to a different country, like Canada, for example. Now, work or tourism, if you want to apply for a job abroad in the UK, whatever, you need to have examination. You need to have that certificate. If you want to go and visit another country, as I said before, as a tourist, you just want to go and have fun. If you put that certificate with the file when you apply for the visa, they will consider giving you the visa. You will have a lot of chances to get the visa because you are a good speaker of English. They are relieved and they are sure that you will not have clash of culture or clash of communication when you travel to their country. All right, so remember that it is very important. Okay, for them to know that you're traveling with knowledge is better to know that you're traveling with nothing. Okay, so that's it. And these are the reasons why you should take an international exam. Okay, an international English exam. These are the reasons. So try to think of one of these based on your, to understand, orientations or what you want. You get what I mean? As a learner of English, as a speaker of English, what do you want to do? Do you want it on your CV? Do you want to travel? Do you want to work abroad? Do you want to immigrate? Do you want to register for university? Or do you want to test your English level? Do you get what I mean? You want to test your level, that's it, right? If you don't want all of those, you want to test your level. So that's why I advise you to do that. Okay. Now, what is the difference between English language exams, between these exams? What is the difference between these exams? Some of you might ask the question, which one would you recommend, right? Which one would you recommend? Do you want me to do IELTS, or do you want me to go for TOEFL, or do you want me to go for PTE? Which one do you want me to go for? Okay, which one do you want me to go for? Okay, I will answer that question here as well. Okay, I will answer that question here as well. The difference between, I wrote here, the difference between these exams is based on the requirements of the universities students are applying for. If you are a student and you are applying for university, some universities in the UK, they ask for IELTS. Other universities, they ask for IELTS, for TOEFL. Understand? Some universities ask for the PTE, you get what I mean, for the Pearson test of English. So depending on the university's requirement, right, you need to take the exam if you want to apply for university. If you just want to test your English level, if you just want to test your level, as I said before, right, in the first one I said test your English level. If you want to do that, then go for any of the exams, because all the three exams, they help you test your level in English. Okay, all of the exams, regardless of the fact that their marking criteria are different, their mark schemes are different. You understand? They're not the same, but you will know your level at the end of the exam. So that is good. If you want to go for tourism, for any of these exams as well. But if you are a student and you want to apply for a master's degree, a bachelor's degree, an undergraduate PhD, whatever, you need to focus on what the university requires. Understand? If the university asks for IELTS, go for IELTS. Do not go for IELTS before asking the university. You need to email the university and ask them, what do you ask for? Okay, what do you need? Do you need a TOEFL test? Do you need a TOEFL certificate or a PTE certificate or an IELTS certificate? Which one do you need? The university might tell you, we don't need any of these. We need an IGCSE exam. Okay, an IGCSE in English. If they say that, then if you don't live in a country where IGCSEs are examinations taken in your schools, then you cannot apply for that university. Do you understand? So some universities, they only accept IGCSE's first language, right? Some universities, they accept IGCSE's second language, and so on, depending on the university you are applying for, okay? And the fees of the exam is very important as well. The fee of the exam. How much are you paying for the exam? If you are a student, you don't have any jobs, you don't have any money, you get what I mean? So how will you pay for the exam? It is a little bit hard for you as a student or as someone who doesn't have money. You get what I mean? Who doesn't have a job to get the proper amount of money or the sufficient amount of money to go for the exam, because the prices are different, and you have to go for the one that is cheap. If you don't have the money, to understand, if you have enough money, just go for any of the exams. You understand? So the money factor plays an important role here for some candidates. Okay, for some people who might apply, they might think of the money, of the fee. It is very important. Okay, I remember my first exam, I had to, you understand, work for the money. You understand? I had to work for the money. And my first exam wasn't any of these exams. It wasn't a, I'm talking generally speaking, you understand? The first exam that I've taken, right, it wasn't an IELTS or TOEFL or whatever, but the first exam that I've taken in my entire career, in my entire life, I had to pay for that exam. All right, I had to pay for it, and that's why I had to work for that exam. It can be any exam, right? It can be an exam to be accepted for a job, right? It can be an exam to be accepted for a university, right? For a school. It can be any exam. All right. Some people, they don't have the money, which is why they have to think of the fee of the exams. The third point that I want to talk about is, should I use, wow, this is very important as well. Some students, they ask me this question, but before that, Neda says in Saudi Arabia, IELTS become a must requirement in so many jobs. Wow, that is very interesting. That is very interesting, right? That is very interesting, Neda. You see what's going on? You see what's going on? Because Saudi Arabia now, if you want to talk about Saudi Arabia as a country, here she says Saudi Arabia, because maybe Nada, she knows a lot about Saudi Arabia. Maybe she lives in Saudi Arabia. We don't know. But again, if Saudi Arabia does that, this teaches us something about Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is a country now that is developing very, very fast. Saudi Arabia is a country that is using a lot of foreigners, right? A lot of international companies now. It has a lot of international facilities, international schools as well, international universities, right? Which is why, if you want to apply to work in one of these facilities, in one of these universities, schools, and companies, you need to be able to speak English properly. Otherwise, they will not accept you, right? Because they work with a lot of Americans, they work with a lot of Britons, they work with a lot of, they understand, foreigners, which is why it is important for them to know that you can communicate with them when you get to work. Quite important. And I love the idea, Neda, to be honest. Nowadays, if a country wants to develop, if a country wants to go further, if the country wants to, explode and becomes, in a good way, explode in a good way, not in a bad way, explode in a good way and becomes one of the best countries in the world, that country needs to focus on the education system. You understand? On the education system is one of the most important aspects for any country who wants to develop, right? And to focus on the education system, you need to look at these international exams, right? The first international exam that you need to look at is the IGCSE exam, right? The A level exam. The O level and the A level exams. The O level exams are very important. You might not know what I'm saying. What are the O level exams? But they are exams that are accredited in these developed countries. All right, there are exams that are studied in these developed countries, which is why they are very important exams and very good exams as well. If a country wants to develop, they need to focus on the education system. That's all I'm trying to say. When you do that, when you focus on the education system, you will focus on these exams. So your jobs, your companies, all of your um, facilities, all of these schools and universities will have an international atmosphere, right? So everyone in those places will speak the language, will speak English as language, right? Some people, they might get a little bit offended and say, what about my mother tongue language? What about, do you understand, if you speak Russian, what about Russian? What about my mother tongue language? It's fine, you can still speak your mother tongue language, no problem. Do you understand? So many people all over the world are trying to learn your mother tongue language, Russian, or they're trying to learn Arabic, or they're trying to learn so many other languages. So many people around the world. It doesn't make you bad if you learn a different language. No, it actually make you someone who wants to wants to open a lot of opportunities for himself or for herself as well. So should I use British or American English throughout the exams, throughout these exams that I've mentioned? Some of you might be asking the question, or Muhyiddin, I've got this American accent, I've got an American English, so will that help me, or will it help me in one of the exams or in all the exams, or what should I do? You understand? Another person would say, I've got British English, will that help me in one of the exams, or what should I do? So what I want you to know is that when you go for these exams, it doesn't matter if you speak American English or British English. Okay, it doesn't matter if you speak any of these two languages. If you are able to if you are able to um, uh, focus on one of them, okay, if you are able to focus on one of them and keep using that specific language, let's say British English, throughout the whole exam, then you're good. Okay, then you're good. You cannot mix them. If you mix them in speaking, if you mix them in writing, if you mix them, then, because in writing the spelling is different, okay, the spelling is different. If you mix them, then color and color. Color in American, it is not spelled as color in British English. You understand? So both are different spellings. You cannot use both spellings in one essay when you are in an IELTS exam or in a TOEFL exam. Right? That will be a mistake. So you have to choose one way and use that specific way. This is the answer to this question. Should I use British or American English? Any of them. Do you understand? Use American, use British if you want to, but stick to it. Do not change it. As simple as that. So moving on to the next slide now, let's talk about the examinations. What is the IELTS Academic? And what are the parts of the exams? If you want to take the exam now, if you're interested and you're thinking, oh my God, I want to take this exam and I want to see my level, I want to know if I'm able to travel abroad, I want to know if I'm able to study at universities, I want to know my level, then I'm going to break it down for you, right? So the IELTS exam, for example, I wrote here, if you want to study in a country where English is the first language, IELTS can be the best choice. Okay, IELTS can be the best choice. When, for example, the UK, as I said, USA, Australia, New Zealand, wherever, the exam is divided into four parts. Four parts, okay, of the exam. Remember that. The exam is divided into four parts. So, and the exam will take about 2 hours, 45 minutes. 2 hours 45 minutes, so almost 3 hours. You can say 3 hours if you want to, because if you can see, speaking, for example, from 11 to 14 minutes, so depending, you understand, it can take 3 hours, all right, but the exact time is 2 hours 45 minutes. Now the first thing, or the first part, is listening. Listening will be about 30 minutes in IELTS Academic. Listening will be about 30 minutes. Students will listen to 4 recordings of native speakers. Now, these 4 I don't want to go into details, okay? But these 4 recordings are different, about different topics, different aspects, different ideas, you understand? Different perspectives, all right? Not about one idea and one topic. No, different things. Okay, the last one is always academic, the one before is not. Do you understand? Informative, descriptive, depending. All right, so we've got 4 recordings, not 4 recording, I forgot us there, 4 recordings of native speakers. Then you have to answer 40 questions. Okay, 40 questions, 40 questions. Yeah, so it's a lot, but it will test your level. Okay, it will test your level. 4 recordings and 40 questions. Number 2, academic reading. Okay, academic reading. When I say academic reading, it is mostly formal. Mostly formal. Okay, you might have some informal passages, but it's mostly formal. 60 minutes. Okay, not 30 minutes. 60 minutes is 1 hour of academic reading. Students will read 3 texts. You will read 3 texts, then answer 40 questions. Okay, you will read 3 different texts, then answer 40 questions. Okay, the third part of the IELTS is academic writing, right? And be careful when I say academic writing, I mean formal writing, not informal. Remember this. If you are a learner of English, you listen a lot to music, you cannot go through this exam, trust me, or any of these exams, because these exams are formal. Okay, especially academic writing, you have to write in a formal way, you cannot write in an informal way. All right, so the academic writing is going to be 60 minutes. It needs to be formal, okay, in capital letters, so that you understand. And students will have 2 tasks. Okay, you will have 2 tasks to write in. Number 1, describe a graph. They will give you a graph, a table, you understand, a chart, a drawing, something, and they will ask you anything visual, as I said here, and they will ask you to describe it using your own words. Okay, to describe the graph using your own words. Okay, that's number 1. That's the first activity. The second activity, they will ask you to write an essay as a response to a problem. All right, you need to write an essay, 1 essay as a response to a problem. All right, points of view or arguments. They give you an argument and they ask you to write an essay about it. The argument is going to be 1 sentence, 2 sentences, and you have to write an essay about it. Okay, so these are the 2 parts of the writing. All right, and of course you have to learn how to divide your time, blah blah blah. And I'm not here to tell you this because maybe you will choose TOEFL, you would choose something else. Okay, if you want me to make a video talking about any of these in details, IELTS or TOEFL PTE, let me know, or text me or whatever. Do you understand? You can ask me if you want me to talk about any of these topics in details. I can break it down for you. Okay, because I taught all of these. And I know the basics, and I've been doing this, do you understand, for a long period of time. So there are a lot of tricks, a lot of very good ideas. So I hope I can help you out, do you understand, if you want me to. But today is just a general idea to tell people, go for these exams. These exams are amazing. All right. So the fourth and the last part in IELTS Academic is speaking. Speaking is going to be shorter than the other tasks or activities. All right, it's going to be from 11 to 14 minutes, and the students will have 3 parts in the speaking. The first part, you will talk about yourself. So the examiner will ask you about yourself. He will say, what is your name? What do you like to do for in weekends? To understand, tell me a little bit about your hobbies, right? So we'll ask you about yourself, your studies, if you're a student, your work, if you are not a student, if you have a job. Do you understand? Sorry, it will ask you about these things. The second thing is you will express yourself or your opinion about a certain topic. Okay, number 2, you will be asked to express your opinion or your point of view about certain topics. So the examiner, again, I don't want to go into details, will give you a piece of paper and it has a topic, right? And it will give it to you. You will think about it for a couple of minutes and then you will speak about it as well. It will ask you a question or 2 to understand about it. The third part, you talk about an abstract idea. An abstract idea, I mean like love, beauty, right? An idea like this. The examiner will ask you the specific questions, and the questions are always related to the second part, to the prompt that you've taken, right? That you've taken before. So remember that. So this is the speaking basically. It's not very, very long. It's from 11 to 14 minutes, maximum 15 minutes, and it will be recorded. Okay, your speaking will be recorded in a recorder. Okay, so that they can listen to it later on and give it a proper mark. Okay, it's not just one examiner that is going to listen to it, multiple examiners will listen to it. Okay, so remember that. And I've done this, and I have been the examiner, all right, in so many places and so many schools, and I have, right, had the recorder as well, and I wasn't the only one who has listened to the students' recordings. Right? I have given it to other examiners as well. They have listened to it, and we have given different marks sometimes, right? And then we have to agree and listen again and give the student the proper mark that he deserves. Because when you get your certificate, every part of these parts, every part will have its proper mark, and then they will work on an average to give you your final mark. Okay, remember that. Now, these are the 4 parts of the IELTS Academic. If you have any questions, or I'm going very fast, to stop me, text me, or write something down. I know not so many people are watching, but if you've got something you want to say, just type it or write it down. Sleepy Pineapples. Yes, I didn't miss the live stream. How are you, Pineapples? I hope you're doing well. Yes, you didn't miss it. We are just, so we've just started. We didn't start long ago. We just started. So the second exam is oh yeah, let's talk about what is new about IELTS. Okay, what is new about IELTS? What happened recently with IELTS? What happened recently? Recently, IELTS examinations, they have decided to create a new system. All right, a new system. That system is called the indicator, IELTS indicator. So you have to do it online. For those students who have the virus, the COVID-19, we hope that they will be very well, very fine. And those who have the virus, they will take the exam from home. So they will have the indicator, IELTS indicator. They take pictures of themselves, a video. Do you know what I mean? They will have all the 4 skills: reading, listening, speaking, and writing. The 4 skills. You understand? And that's it. This is the new thing about IELTS since the outbreak. And also the fee has changed since the 1st of April 2020. The fee of the IELTS examination has changed. Okay, it's not the same as before. So if you go to the website, you will see that the fee is different. I don't want to tell you how much it is now. I don't want to tell you the difference about the fees when it comes to these 3 examinations. You have to find out for yourself, right? This is not an advertisement for any of these exam boards. It is not an advertisement for any of these exam boards. I'm just doing this, and I'm just explaining this for students or for people who want to test their level. Okay, that's it. Just trying to help. So if you want and you're interested to know about the fee, go visit the website, or ask about the fee. I just cannot tell you about the fee. So let's move on to TOEFL. Okay, TOEFEL. All right, and it has 4 parts as well. Surprise! 4 parts as well. Okay, and those 4 parts obviously are the 4 skills, which are the reading, the listening, speaking, and writing. Now we start with listening this time, and the exam is 3 hours, not 2 hours 45 minutes. The exam is 3 hours, and the reading is from 54 minutes to 72 minutes. Be careful, this can be a little bit tricky, so focus with me so that you know how it will, go if you want to go for the TOEFL exam. So 54 to 72 minutes. Students will read 3 to 4 passages in reading, 3 to 4 passages from academic texts, then answer 30 to 40 questions. Now, if you read 3 passages, you will answer 30 questions. If you read 4 passages, you will answer 40 questions, depending. All right. And also, if you read 3 passages and answer 30 questions, it might be 54 minutes. Okay, 54 minutes. If you read 4 passages and answer 40 questions, it might be 72 minutes in the reading. That's why it says from 54 to 72, just to get an idea. The second part is listening, okay? And those texts are academics, by the way, in the first part. The second part is listening from 41 minutes to 57 minutes, right? Students will listen to 4 recordings, just like the IELTS, of native speakers that answer 29 to 39 questions, okay? Depending on the time here, on the listening. If you have 41 minutes, you will answer 28 questions, 29 questions, 30 questions. If you have 57 minutes, then you will answer 39 questions. Okay, and depending on the length of the recordings as well, if the recordings are very long, if the recordings are difficult, then the questions are not that hard and not that outnumbered. The questions might be just 28 questions if the recordings are long and very hard. If the recordings are short and very simple, you might have 39 questions, right? So depending on the length of the recordings and the difficulty of the recordings, or the native speakers talking about these topics, that affects the number of the questions and the time as well. Remember that. The third part is speaking. Okay, the third part is speaking. One of the most important parts, to be honest, because you have facing the examiner, you're talking to the examiner. If you're a shy person, if you don't have charisma, if you have, you understand, difficulty speaking to people, you might find the speaking very, very hard. All right. Some people are very good at reading comprehension, very good at listening, very good at writing, but they're very bad at speaking. Trust me. Right. So that's why speaking is very important in these exams, and that's why I've spoken about vocabulary before, and I have taught you that technique to better your speaking skills. 17 minutes, third part. Speaking is 17 minutes. Students have to express yourselves. You have to express yourself and opinion on a specific topic or a familiar topic that everyone knows about. Okay, you have to give answers on reading and listening tasks as well. So you will have a little listening tasks, a little of reading tasks, and you have to answer questions based on them. All right. So that's the speaking. And when I say reading tasks, there are prompts, as I said before, in the IELTS. So they give you a couple of prompts, a topic, and you can look at it for a couple of minutes and then go back to the examiner and answer the questions. The fourth part is writing. Okay, the writing is going to be 50 minutes. 50 minutes. Okay, and students will go through 2 activities. The first activity is write essay responses, not an essay. In TOEFL, you will write multiple essays. You will write 2 to 3 essays. Okay, you will write more than 1 essay. And secondly, you will support their opinion. You will support your opinion when you write those responses. So these are the 2 tasks that you have to do in writing for 50 minutes. 50 minutes you will have to write about. You will have to write essay responses, right? And you will have to support your opinions, okay, with evidence, okay, when you respond to those arguments or problems, okay, in the writing. So this is the TOEFL, 4 parts, just like IELTS. The time is a little bit different, just 15 minutes, not a lot really, and it's 3 hours. Reading, listening, speaking, and writing as always. This is the TOEFL. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. All right. Now, the last one is PTE Academic. PTE Academic, which is the Pearson Test of English. Okay, the PTE Academic has 3 parts, not 4 parts, 3 parts. Okay, this might be one of the easiest. Okay, the Pearson Test Academic of English. It might be PTE Academic is maybe one of the easiest because it only has 3 parts, but it has 3 hours. Okay, it takes 3 hours. You have speaking and writing together. You have speaking and writing together. Okay, from 77 minutes to 93 minutes. Okay, 77 minutes to 93 minutes, which is very tiring. So students will have to introduce themselves. You will have to introduce yourself, read loud. So you will read out loud as well. They will give you a text and you have to read it out loud to show your reading skills. And you will describe an image. You need to have descriptive skills. and you have to summarize a text. You need to be very good at summarizing, and you will write an essay when you finish. There are some other skills as well that I didn't mention here, some other tasks and activities that I didn't mention here, but if you still have time, they will give you a lot of tasks to finish 93 minutes. So the second part is reading. Okay, reading is from 32 to 40 minutes. Okay, 32 to 40 minutes. And students will have to fill in the blanks. Okay, what you have to do is they will give you in reading a text, and you have to fill in the blanks with the appropriate words. You will answer also multiple choice questions, okay, which is something that we all love to do. Multiple choice questions, it's one of the best. All right, and reorder paragraphs. They will also ask you to reorder paragraphs. You see how easy it is. This is very easy. The PTE Academic is very easy. You have to reorder paragraphs, multiple choice questions, fill in the blanks. Very easy. Okay. Sometimes there are other tasks, but these are the main tasks to do for 40 minutes in reading. Now, listening is from 45 to 57 minutes. Okay, from 45 to 57 minutes. Now, you will have to answer questions after listening to an audio track or after watching a video clip. This is different. Now, you can watch a video clip and then answer the questions based on the video clip. So if you see something in the video clip, you need to mention it as well, depending on the question. All right, or it's an audio track that you will listen to, then answer the questions. And here the question is not they're not going to give you a specific number of questions. It can be 30 questions, 40 questions, depending on how long the audio track is, how long the video clip is. The questions are going to follow as well. All right, so this is the PTE Academic. Let me know which one do you think is the easiest, okay, in the comment below. Let me know which one do you think is the easiest, and which one would you go for, okay, if you want to go for a test. And all of these tests are international. All of these tests are accredited by universities, and they are all, okay, accepted everywhere, okay, in the famous universities. So let me know which one do you find easy according to you. Okay, so this is the last, okay, exam. What I want to say at the end is, for how long, okay, will I use these exams? This is very important questions. Unfortunately, you will be able to use these 3 English language exams for 2 years only. Okay, you will be able to use these 3 exams for 2 years only. After 2 years, you will have to take the exam again. Okay, so if you take the exam this year, 2 years after now, you have to retake the exam. This is the thing about these examinations. Even TOEFL back in the day used to be different. Back in the day, TOEFL used to be an exam that you take and then it will last forever. Okay? But then they have changed the system. And it started to become the exam that you take and it lasts for 2 years, just like other international exams. So you have to think carefully about this. And also, some of the questions that people ask me is, how do I prepare for these exams? Should I go tomorrow? Should I go next week? Should I go now to the website and apply after I've watched this video? No. If you did not prepare yourself, now if you think your level is advanced, go for it. You get what I mean? If you think your level is intermediate, go for it. If you think your level is if you think you're a beginner, go for it as well. But you need to study. You need to prepare yourself. Now the preparation varies. If you want to apply and the exam is 3 months from now, you have to study very hard for the exam every single day. You need to prepare yourself seriously. Every single day you have to study, all right, the 4 skills, so that you can get a very good mark. Remember that you're paying money for this certificate that will last for 2 years. Yeah, so you cannot just take the exam and waste the money without any preparations. Be careful. So those who have time and they think that they have time, the proper way and the proper time to prepare yourself for these exams is 2 years. Okay, my advice is take 2 years to prepare yourself for these exams. Okay, for one of these exams, take 2 years. Okay, to prepare yourself for these 4 skills: reading, listening, writing, and speaking as well. So this is what these international exams are all about. And I wanted you to tell me in the comments below, if you can hear me, if you're listening to me, I wanted you to say uh, which one of these exams do you think is hard or easy? Okay. In my opinion, I believe that the last one is the easiest one. The PTE, okay, is very easy, I believe, because has only 3 parts, and the speaking and reading are included. Okay, the speaking and reading, speaking and writing, sorry, yes, the speaking and writing are included. All right, the speaking and writing are included, and it is easier that way to some people. So I think, in my opinion, that's the easiest one. Let me know what you think. I think the hardest one is TOEFL. TOEFL, okay, awesome. The hardest, true, true, true. I agree with you. I agree with you, Infra. Totally do. The hardest one is TOEFL. I myself believe the hardest one is TOEFL. I have taught TOEFL, okay? I have taught TOEFL. And trust me, the system, okay, of teaching TOEFL is hard, right? To teach TOEFL is hard, right? Because TOEFL, I don't know, yeah, TOEFL is very serious. It's a very serious examination, and it's an amazing examination as well. I have a chance, I would go for PTE. A PTE is amazing, trust me, and it's accepted by plenty and so many universities. Trust me, it's an international exam, accredited, and it's perfect and it's amazing. PTE is amazing. Not so many people hear of it, but it is the third famous exam, right? The third famous exam all over the world is PTE. So yeah, go for PTE, Nada. Have a chance, I would go for PTE. PTE is amazing. Go for it. I'm not sure if they have updated their system and they have an online exam. I'm not quite sure if they have updated their system. I don't know, but IELTS updated their system already. But I don't know about PTE. Again, if they open up, you can apply for the exam and you can try it out. It's amazing. It's a very good exam. It is not very hard as well. The TOEFL one, I think, is hard, even though all of these 3 examinations are going to test your level of English, depending on how many months or years you've studied, right, for the exam. Also, it doesn't matter if this one is easy or if you think this one is hard. Go for any of them, right? Go for any of them and test your level. Test your level. Try to know where you are when it comes to English language. Try to know your level when it comes to English language. It's a very, very nice feeling to know that you are at this level, okay, or you are at this level or at that level. Once you know that, you will know how to develop yourself, how to evolve, how to change, how to become better, right? As I say always, admitting that you are wrong is good. Okay, when you admit that you're wrong, when you admit that you have failed at this, for example, or at that, it is okay. You get what I mean? It is okay if you admit it, because once you admit it, you are ready to change. You're ready to. You accepted the fact that you do not know everything. You accepted the fact that you want to learn, and that is very important perspective. That is a very important perspective. So go for any of these exams, you guys. Would like to encourage you to go for any of them. If you have already tried any of these, like Infra, for example, he got 39 in TOEFL. Okay, he found it hard. That's why he said the hardest one is TOEFL. Okay, because he went for TOEFL and he failed dramatically, right? But he did his best. 39 is good. To be honest, 39 is very good. Is based on, based on his level, 39 is good. So that's amazing. Because if you look at it, TOEFL, yeah, TOEFL is in process. True, TOEFL is not an easy exam. It's not an easy exam. I told you I taught TOEFL for a couple of years, and it's not an easy exam. Okay, it's not an easy examination. All the examinations are, they have their easy touch and the hard touch, right? The GCSE, the IGCSE, the A levels. You understand these exams as well. They've got their easy and the hard. Do you understand what I mean? And every language has its easy and its hard. Do you understand what I mean? French, English, Russian, Arabic, German, whatever. Chinese has its easy and its hard. Not, you get what I mean? I don't believe in one hard language and all the other languages are easy, or one hard exam and all the other exams are easy. No, all the exams, they are easy and hard at the same time. But depending on what you want to go for, are you a good speaker? Then you will find speaking very easy. Bad writer, you will find writing very hard because you're bad at it. You get what I mean? So depending on your area, really, and what do you crave the most, what do you like the most. So that's what I think and that's what I believe. Thank you so much, guys, for being here. Thank you so much, Infra, for being part of another live stream video. Thank you so much, Nada. uh, Yes, Infra says depending on your level. Totally agree. If you have any questions, let me know. I know I'm thanking everybody, but if you have anything you want to say, let me know, please. I would like to see any questions, any suggested topics. If you want to suggest anything, please let me know. You are my faithful followers. You're always here when I'm live streaming. Thank you so much. I don't have, I can't tell you how much I'm happy to help, to have you here with me, right? I'm talking and you're responding, you're interacting. You are great people with great personalities. Thank you so much. I appreciate you and I'm very thankful for you guys. Infra, you're a great person. Neda, thank you so much. And I hope you will go for that PTE. No worries, Infra. Thank you for sharing these important information. Don't worry, bro. I'm here to help. If you have any questions and anything, or you want to suggest any topics, just let me know, Infra. I'm here to help out, mate. Don't worry about it. And do not thank me again. I'm saying thank you. I wrote it in a PowerPoint. I said thank you. And the Word in History episode 4 is going to come out soon. Okay, I'm working on it, and it's going to come out soon. Guys, um, you know, um, recording is not hard, and the what comes after the recording is a little bit hard. That is why I didn't make the 4th episode yet. A Word in History is something that I have created. No one has done this before. A Word in History where someone goes back in the past and takes an English word and tries to tells people about its origin. So that's something that I've done, and I've done the first episode, the second, the third, and you can watch them if you haven't. Please do. The 4th episode is going to come out soon, this week, hopefully tomorrow, okay, or after tomorrow. So stay tuned and wait for the 4th episode. It's going to be amazing. It's a very good word. It's a word that you already know, but you don't know its origin, and it's going to surprise you. It is a great word. Okay. So this is the fun part about this episode and about this series, A Word in History. And also, just making the video afterwards is a little bit hard, putting the words and trying to fix the picture and fix the image, and it's a little bit hard. And I do everything alone, as you know. I do everything alone. The sound and putting it in the video, whatever. I do everything alone, so it's not easy. It takes time. But again, I do it for you guys, and it's something that I love to do and I like to do as well. So I hope you benefit from it and from all my videos, from this live video, from the previous live videos as well. Try to learn something. If I helped you learn one thing, then I'm the happiest person alive. And if I helped you learn 2 things, then I'm more than happy. Do you get what I mean? So thank you so much. And whatever you learn from me, teach it to others as well. Whatever you learn or you take from these videos or this video, teach it to others, tell it to others as well. Let people learn things and understand things. And it's very important to share, and that's why we're here, to share. So thank you so much, Infra. Thank you, Sleepy Pineapple. You were not late, just a little bit. Thank you so much, Nada. Thank you, Lamine. And that's it. Thank you guys. Thank you for those who are watching me and they don't like to type messages or comments. No problem. You can always listen. If you don't want to type them down, don't type them down. Thank you so much for listening and for being here. Um, so I have to tell you, see you guys in the next video. Good night and stay safe. As Infra said, thank you so much, mate. See ya. Take care.